Yes, guys, welcome back to another live stream. I can see loads of questions coming in here. This is going to be a good one tonight. This is going to be a good one because I'm actually going to kick off before we go through some of the pro member questions. I've got some things to show you. I've got them way at the side. So I'll grab them one by one because they're quite heavy. Numero uno. So I have decided to get all the flags that I've been collecting over the last few years in a frame. And you know what? I'm absolutely buzzing with how these look. So I've got that one, which is the open. I've also then got these here. So this one's got a really cool story. This is the one where me and Tom won the Veloper Irish Challenge. And then finally, another open one. That is Royal St. George's. Let me know down in the comments here. Do any of you guys collect anything? This is letting me know that I'm live on YouTube. I know, because I'm live with you right now. Do you guys essentially collect anything? We're going to go through some of these questions here. We got one from Alan here. I can see John. I can see Paul. I can see Graham. I can see Paul Hunt. I can see Raymond about the SM10 wedges. It is not closed. It closes this week, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check and I'll put it on my community page. But all of the live streams and all of the giveaways will be announced on the community page. So make sure you keep on the community page here at Alex Elliott Golf. That is where I will announce the winner. So I mentioned, if you are watching right now and you are a pro member, we're going to go through those questions, but also pop yours down below here on the right-hand side. I can see all your comments, can see all your questions, and we are going to go through them. Dave McDonald said, I should start collecting my divots. The greenkeepers wouldn't be happy with that, Dave. And it's good that you're making a divot. Hopefully, that divot is after, not before. So it'd be interesting to know, like, I mean, you can see someone popping down the comments here about collecting things, because I often think, like, well, as golfers, we get to go and play so many different places. We get to go and play so many different things. It's cool to sort of be able to go and get these things, collect these things. I did ball markers as well, which is really nice thing. So let me start off by going through these questions. I've got them all on here, ready to rock. Yeah, it's going to be a cracking one tonight. So one of the first questions coming in here, Alex, can you recommend what is one of the most forgiving drivers of 2024? Now, I have actually been trying a few of them, and I've actually been fitted for my brand new driver for 2024, and it's not one of the most forgiving ones, but one of the most forgiving drivers. I think you got to look at it this way, right? Categories are TaylorMade QI10 Max. You've got the new Mizuno T230 Max. You've got Ping. I think you got Callaway. I've gotten the same way. I think if we're being brutally honest, right, and you'll probably agree with me, if we're thinking forgiveness, we're going down the route of Ping. Ping are known for being like the most forgiving club golfer club. So if I'm thinking that, I'm going to say Ping. I can see a thing from Sean here saying, where do you get all your Mizuno apparel from? Well, Scottsdale, actually. It's quite smart, this, isn't it? So I've got Mizuno on here and then a J. Lindbergh one underneath. It's cold here. Okay, guys, it's cold. And yeah, I should have the heating on, but I'm a bit chilly. So yeah, it's why it's a little cold. Let's go to another one of these questions. Before we get cracking on all these questions that all you guys have sent in, which is great to see so many questions sent in pre-show, but also it's great to have all your questions here on the live also. So let's go through some of these questions here. Another one coming in here. Oh, I can see a lot of people saying they're collecting things and how they love the golf tips. This is class to see, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Let's go on here and load this up into here. Yeah. Just replying to you guys. So this is one of the next questions. So, guys, you might have seen today, this is why I'm a bit hectic right now. I was at the TaylorMade tour truck. It was cracking to be on that and see, essentially, how a club is made behind the scenes on a tour truck. And one thing I actually found out that you may not know, listen to this. So I was under the illusion that all the tour players, they had like different clubs to us. They don't. They're all the same, which is class. So this is from Bob and Jenny. Hi, Alex. Have you found out what part of the club moves first in the load? How can you ever show club control if you don't know at least what is functioning parts of the sequence, which how they work? Better yet to know with the directions and motions and four elements all linked in the sequence. Bob and Jenny, I'm going to say one thing right now. This is far too complicated. Guys, we've got to be thinking about this totally differently. Like, this is so much to think about. Okay, so you got to think what part of the club head loads in terms of we're talking about power, we're talking about sequence, we're talking about you guys becoming a better golfer. Now, if I was thinking about power, as I start down, my lower body would go first, and the force in my idea is being put on top of the shaft with my right hand. That is the idea that I work to in terms of how I display power and how I control the club face. So, Bob and Jenny, let's think about this nice and logically, right? If we have a good grip, our right arm bends on the way back. And simply, if it bends on the way back, it's got to redo it on the way down. So this is how you put pressure on the golf ball, just in a rotary fashion. I really think, right, we've got to lose these swing thoughts. Guys, get down in the comments right now. What is your swing thoughts right now? And I want to only know two of them. And the two that you pop down below in the comments are the only two that you can use this week. I promise you, you'll be a much better golfer. So let's go through some of these questions in here, and then we'll flip back and forth between some of the pro members. We can see so many in here. So Alan said this. Hey, Alex, love your videos. I just replaced my 3-wood for the new TaylorMade Burner 13.5 mini driver. I hit 5 and 7 wood great using your tips, but can't seem to hit the mini driver off the deck consistently. Right. So, Alan, one thing I'd say is that mini driver, I would treat like just like a driver. I would not be using it off the deck unless it is poked up like a coconut, because you've got 13.5 degrees of loft, not many grooves. It has to be a perfect lie. So I would say use that driver as a club to use off a tee. It's not something that I would even approach myself or even recommend the best players in the world. Obviously, they can do it because they're the best players for a reason. But 13.5 degree mini driver, I wouldn't be looking at to use it off the deck. It's so hard. Stick to the 5-wood, stick to 7-wood. That is a much safer play. Okay, so, another one from here from John. Joan said, which is the most forgiving driver of 2023? I'm going to say Ping. I'm going to go for it. Ping has to be one of the most forgiving. I'm not saying it's the longest, but Ping G430 10K max 100% has to be it. Okay, Paul Hunt said, hey, Alex, where in the downswing should you be turning your wrists? Okay, this is a great question. And guys, you want to listen to this. So let's think about this logically. And I think we always forget a little bit of logic in the golf swing. So our wrists start in this motion. If I turn to the side, down, we're addressing the golf ball. In the backswing, they move up a little bit, don't they? They make this and they make this move. So in the backswing, they go to here. So they started here, they've gone to here. So if we gradually set our wrists on the way back, that means we've got to gradually turn them on the way down. So the way I think about it is, and this is really, really good way, Paul. I've mentioned this in a few videos, and I'll leave a link to this because I think it's a cracker for us all to think about club face control. If imagine you turned your head at the top of the backswing, you could see 3 knuckles. Okay, so by the time our hands get to hip height, I want you to look down and be seeing 2 knuckles. By the time you get into impact, I want you to see 1 to no knuckles. Now, so you think about that. We've taken the wrist and we've moved it ever so gradually from the top of the backswing all the way down into impact. And that is essential. It's not a flash in the pan release, as I call it. So it's not a boom, try and get it. It's a gradual release down into the golf ball. And if you're not thinking about it that way, it's really hard to improve your golf. It's a gradual release. If we've got a flash in the pan release, and maybe you guys can see in the comments here, maybe you can relate to this, then it's absolute carnage. Now, let's go into some of these pro member questions. I also mentioned, You'll have seen me on my stories today on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, that I've gone on the tour truck. I went for a full show around, full behind the scenes, and that video is going up tonight on How Good Golf, literally just after we go live. So if you want to see behind the scenes on what the tour players get used to every single week, and you know what? How good would it be to be a tour player seeing all this stuff? It is class. Plus, some of the goodies from Tiger Woods, Dustin Johnson, Tommy Fleetwood on there, Ricky Fowler, all their goodies are in their bins, so it's cool to see that too. So from Alan Carter here, hi Alex, I hope this question isn't duplicated. I asked it in reply to yesterday's post. I always find it difficult to chip onto the green from the side of the rough despite being pretty close to the pin. It is easy to blast it over the green. I tend to use 60 degree, but I tend to not hit, it tends to be hit and miss. Okay, right. We've all got to listen to this, guys. Hit the thumbs up button if you are enjoying this video. It really does help, by the way. I love coming live with you at least once a week. It's class to sort of have these conversations and you get to ask your questions directly. And you know what? Don't worry if I don't answer your question right now. You will be chosen in one of the full tuition videos that we put up 5 times a week here on the channel. So don't worry. So if we're hitting short chips, let's say this is our green. This is our rough, and we're chipping from very short distance, and we're using a lot of loft. Let's think, if it's a short distance chip, and we're using a lot of loft, there's loft already on the club. So we don't really need much wrists. We only need wrists in the shot if we want to hit it really high in a short distance. If we're only just off the green, we don't need to. And I would actually say golfers use too much wrists in their golf swing when chipping. Less is more. So, Alan, think about this for me. If we're chipping the short distance, let's think about a thumbs down chip. So we'd have our arms slightly in front of our body and have our thumbs feeling the pointing down. Now, I mentioned a minute ago in the golf swing, our wrists gradually set, then they gradually unset. So if we got the idea of on a short chip, we keep those thumbs pointing to the ground. Weight on the left-hand side, thumbs pointing to the ground. When we have the idea of, and so almost like that worry of blasting it over the green, for me, it's when we get too much speed, too much wrists involved, and that club head can just go whang and fly through. And then that's really where we find it hard to have control, have clarity, and have a real great feeling over the golf ball. So, short chips, guys, let's take those wrists out of it. So let's go into all of these questions on here from Graham Doyle. Hi, Alex. I have never had a 5-iron in my bag before. I just got fitted for a set of irons on the Strixon tour truck. Any advice on ball position for long irons? Graham from Ireland. Graham, thanks so much for joining me. It's great to have you here on the live stream. Hopefully you're still watching now. And if you are just joining us, don't forget to put your question down below. So, Graham, ball position. This is a cracking way to think about it. So if we said pitch and wedge starts in the middle of our chest, all we've got to think, we work half a ball further forward as we go to each longer club. So I would roughly say, let's take my Mizuno logo here. I would say 5-iron would sort of sit in the middle of my left pec. Okay. So work half a ball forward. And how I do it, so if I'm stood on the ground here, both my feet, I set like a few little golf balls out here in front of me where I can go, right, okay, back edge of this first golf ball's pitch and wedge, half a golf ball further forwards, 9-iron, one golf ball, another half a golf ball further forward, so 1.5 down now is where we have 9-iron, 2 golf balls down is where we have 8-iron, okay, 2.5 is 7-iron, 3 golf balls from the middle is where we have 6-iron, so 3.5 golf balls from the middle of my stance is roughly where we'd have 5-iron, and that is key. It's a balance between having it too far forward and too far back. But, Graham, that's where I'd really think about having that. Hopefully that helps you. Just general sort of ball position advice. And it's key, you know. If you don't have ball position right, it can affect angle of attack. So too far back, you can hit 2 down. Too far forward, not hitting down enough. It also can affect your club path. So it can be more in to out if the ball's a little bit further back, more out to in if the ball's a little further forward. And then, therefore, also your club face can correspond to that. For the back in your stance, it's more likely your face is going to be open. For the forward in your stance, more likely it's going to be closed. Now, I use the term more likely because it's always something that happens. So let's go to this one here from Dimaz. He said, hi, Alex. I'm a right-handed golfer. As soon as my right hand tries to push the club to go faster, I always end up slicing. What should I do to hit it straighter? Okay, Dimaz, I can imagine this right now. So we're right-handed, and I've suffered from this. We're right-handed, we get a bit happy being in this way, throwing the club out. I put a video up the day, and I'm going to explain it to you now. We always want to move our hips first in the downswing. I want your arms to still be active, but we've got to think about the sequence. So if we sort of move everything together, right, like this, and we throw that club out, and we add speed, and we move it over, then at that point, everything's moving away from us. So we've got to stall that. So instead of feeling you're putting power out in front of us, feel as though this right arm is dropping this way. Okay. Now, the reason is to shallow the club, we've got to keep our back to target for longer and drop these arms. Okay. Then we get into a position where we can turn through. So think about, Dimas, the sequence is all a little bit out. Think about how we want to keep our back to target for longer and let our right arm drop before we even think about putting any power in. And that way, you're going to allow that club to work into a much better position. I really do promise you that. Like you'll find it much better. Hopefully that helps. I really do hope that helps. Report back. Let me know. And if you want to send me an email, I can always sort of recommend you a video on that as well. Okay. So for Michael, Bus said, "What's up, Alex? What's up, Alex? What's up, Michael? Great to have you on the live." Roman Bian said, "Hi, Alex. When are you announcing the SM10 wedges?" Right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you when I do this. I've got the date here for you guys. This is date for your diary. And it's important because I'm the only other person that's going to announce it. I never ask you any car details. So the winner's going to be announced. Giveaway closes not until the 19th of the 3rd. So this is teamed up with Scottsdale. 19th of the 3rd. So 19th of March is when the giveaway ends. It's live for a month. We'll be given a few more opportunities. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. Okay, let's go to another question here. So asking, by the way, if you can, Robert's put here, Alex, I collect swords. I was asking earlier in the chat. I've been collecting, if you just joined us, these for a few years. And I've decided now to get them all framed. And we're going to put them on the side here. Create a little bit of a bit more of a backdrop to the office, I guess. Just make it look a bit nicer. So let's go to the question, guys. If you're just joining here, Wayne said, "Hi, Alex. Hope you're well." Wayne, I hope you're really well too. This is really good to see. Jules on here. Nice to catch you live. Jules, thanks so much for joining us. Nice to have you on this live stream. Nice to have you all on this live stream. I mean, I say it every time we come on, but it's cracking just to sort of come on and speak and really sort of work through these things. It's great to sort of ask you questions and talk about your golf swings in general. Okay, so let's have a look at these questions. So we've gone through this one. Here we go. This is from Dick Martin. Said, "Yes, my golf is improving. Your tips have been very helpful. Striking the ball and woods have improved. Played yesterday and hit 10 of 14 fairways. This is really good." Okay. Life is simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Confusion. Okay, so let's talk about making the golf swing a little bit simple. Now, if we think about this logically, we've got to think, how do we become consistent? And I want you to check a few things for me. Next time you go out, I want you to go and check your club face against a square edge before you put your hands on the golf club. It honestly astonishes me when I don't check mine for, let's say, a month. And I go and hit golf balls. I'm like, you know what? This is a bit off this. Check your club face, put your grip on. It's just mad. Like, if you think, and it sort of hit home for me today a little bit more because I was on the TaylorMade Tour truck. I mean, I'm not saying it to make you guys jealous. I'm saying it because it was so insane. That video goes up shortly, actually, around 7:35 this evening, which I'm looking forward for you to see. I was going with this. Yes, they recalibrate the tour truck and the measurements every single week. So why do we not do that before we go and play? So please, next time you go and play, or before you're going to hit some balls at range, check your club face up against a square edge, then put your hands on. You will thank me later. Okay, let's go to another one of these questions. This is great to have so many down on here, guys. Thanks for joining me. Let's go for this one. This one, Chris said, "Alex, my question for all very informative videos. My question to you would be, with all the tips and tricks you give us, what do you really focus on in your own golf swing for consistency and distance?" What a brilliant question that is. I like that question. Not that I like talking about myself, but I'm just saying, I think it's a cracking question. So what I'm really working hard on, you follow me on Instagram, you'll see him. So I'm going to turn side on so you can see this a little bit easier. So if I'm hitting towards the wall here, my bad habit is taking that club away and sort of getting a little across the line like this. And then I get at the top. So what I've really been focusing on is trying to keep that arm a little bit more in front of me and setting the club more this way. I mean, I'm wearing all black here and there's a black chair, so you can't really quite see it. But yeah, trying to really focus on setting that right elbow and right arm in more. And I've found I set the club better at the top. I feel I know where the club face is. And I just got a better coordination between my arms and my body. It was all getting a little bit this way. And you know what it is? I just don't practice, but I've really made a conscious effort. Every week, I'm trying to hit at least 25, 30 balls. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? But I feel so much better at my game. I've got all that sort of bug to go, you know what? I need to get out and play. I need to get out and play. Because it's, yeah, I'm gutted I'm not. Okay, here we go. What is the best all-round golf round in your opinion? I think it's a really difficult one, Mike, because I think if you look at it this way, there's certain brands for wedges. Let's say Vokey, Cleveland. They're in that category of what I would think. Irons, you're probably thinking Mizuno, possibly even Titleist, maybe even Ping, depending on what you want. Driver, you're probably thinking TaylorMade or Callaway. Fairway woods, I mean, last year the Cobra fairway woods was an absolute storm. The amount of players on tour that were uncontracted players playing that fairway wood at the Open was ridiculous. So I would say it depends on the person, and it depends on what you're after. Depends on your ability level. Depends on what you want from a club. Some people will say the best all-round is Ping because it's more forgiveness. Best all-round is TaylorMade. Best all. So I would say it's very difficult. I mean, personally, I won't be going for a bag with all one brand. I'm be looking at a bag this year that is made up of components of different brands. Wedges, maybe from Titleist. Irons from, let's say, Callaway. Driver, not telling you because I'm not fitting, and you have to watch that video because I got fitted for the best driver I've ever had. Honestly, it's a cracker. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there is much of one brand. I mean, let me know if you agree with that, guys. It'd be great to know. So Chris Pastor said, I collect tees. I also collect tees, ball markers, and pitchforks. I think I've got a pitchfork in my pocket. Yeah, I have. Don't always carry this. I've come straight from filming. Look, pitchfork. We'll leave it on the side there. Bit of memorabilia from Panina. I'm not going this year. Gary Musk said, hello from Toledo, Ohio, USA. Hello, Gary. Thank you for watching. The Duncan Wobble said, any tips to increase launch angle off the tee? Tilting shoulders, hips, and upwards hit isn't doing it for me. Okay, right. Okay, got a cracker. Knew this. So, this, the Drunken Wobblies, is what I would say. So imagine your ball is teed up on here. Imagine if I got a golf ball in my drawer. No. Anyway, imagine my golf ball is teed up on here. I would really focus about having that club set 6 inches back. Because then you almost imagine your low points here then. Your start point, I always think, is very close to your low point. So if you start with your club head right behind the ball, the likelihood of us then hitting up decreases, in my opinion. If we address sort of 6 inches back, the likelihood then increases. So tilt the shoulders if you are, get the hips set a little bit, get that reverse K position, but address 6 inches back. That's what I do. So I did my fitting yesterday. Ball flight went crazy good. That Drunken Wobblies and that really helps. Okay, Sean Carter said, where do you get all your Mizuno apparel from? So I get it from Mizuno. I get it from Scottsdale Golf. And they are one of the sponsors of the channel. And they've been kind enough to sort of support me. And we got Jillenberg on here, which is really nice, actually. Then a bit of a Puma. I'm really letting you know how many layers I got on today. This is what I went through today. All these layers to try and keep warm. I should probably take them off. It shows how warm or cold my house is. But yeah, from Scottsdale, one of the links is down below in the description. If you want to go and check out their apparel, they have all the little cool bits that you can't get in certain places, which is really cool. Dave McDonald said, I discovered this week that my alignment was closed. Stuck out alignment sticks and got it checked with my pro at King's Links. I was shocked how far it was out. It's amazing. That's what I was saying about club head earlier. You don't realize, David, like until you get it checked, you don't actually genuinely realize how wrong you've got it. And I'm the same. So if you keep leaving it and leaving it and leaving it and leaving it, the likelihood is then it's going to be hard to get right. Oh, I've just remembered. I mentioned my tour truck video, which goes up very shortly on How Good Golf. There was a giveaway in that video, a separate one to the wedges, which are actually in that box just there. this is a goodie bag that they gave me, and I thought, you know what, I don't want this. I'm going to give it to you guys. So make sure you head over to that video after we've finished going live. Check that out. Also, keep your eyes out for tonight's video. I've seen a lot of people asking on here about rotation, starter, downswing. Early extension is one of the biggest things that I see golfers fail to improve upon because they think it's a real, like, dramatic change, I think. And then I think that's one of the biggest things. Tonight's video is little 5 simple steps. You can actually start copying this from home. That's on Alex Elliott Golf. Loads of stuff coming up for you tonight, guys. Okay, so from Malcolm Pack said, how can you forget about bad shot? Keep your mind clear for the next one. I really think that's do you know what? There needs to be more about this on YouTube because how often do we not think about the mental game? Whereas, what did Jack Nicklaus say? I think it was Jack Nicklaus. Hardest 6 inches of golf is between here. How do you forget? Now, this is the one rule that I used to think. So I always said around my shot, there's a 5-yard bubble. So I could be chatting to my playing partners. I could be chatting to whoever. As soon as I get within 5 yards of my ball, switch on into the shot. Where's the wind? What's the lie? What I forgot to do? So in that 5 yards, it's just me, just my golf ball, just my clubs. Just think, that's all I'm thinking about. So that would work for approaching the shot. And then let's say you hit the shot. It's a bad shot. As soon as you walk out of that 5 yards, click your fingers, forget it. And actually click your fingers because it's almost like that sort of boom, cut-off point. That is really, really something that I would think about. Also, I don't condone this, but I used to carry some really old, ripped-up golf gloves just to rip. They were already ripped, just to throw this out there. They were old. They were just gone. They would never be used again. There were holes in them. And just that little secret rip was a real good anger getter out there. But I wouldn't recommend that. Like, that's something that I used to do as a very young golfer. So I would really recommend 5-yard bubble, click the fingers. It's essential. Okay, Angus said here, McDonald said, do golf balls make a big difference for a high handicap / beginner? I'll be honest, yes, they do. Having the right golf ball for your game is essential because you'll get to a point where you think about, and this is why I say, how many putts do you hit? How many chips do you hit? How many short shots do you hit? Way more than you do off the tee. So having a good golf ball that you can control around the green will categorically get you down quicker. If you've got a golf ball that is really hard one week, then soft the next because you've lost it, you chipping with a rock hard golf ball to a soft golf ball is going to make such a difference, honestly. And if you just go on the Vice website, I think you can go through a little guide on put your swing speed in, your handicap, your characteristics, what you like to feel, and it will churn out the algorithm, a golf ball for you when it recommends. That's what I did when I started working with Vice. And it's a really great way to find a golf ball for you. But yeah, I really do think it does make a big, big difference. Think about it. If you were hitting a rock compared to hitting something soft, it makes such a difference. Okay, guys, let's go through some more of these questions. It's so good to have so many of you on here. Sud said, great channel as always. Love your tips. Can you make a special just for putting? RV out 100%. The reason why we don't do many putting videos, guys, is simply that the greens and the grass in the UK at this point of time and this part of the year aren't great. So just trying to wait for the greens to get a bit better. So another question coming in here from Sovereign Saint. I'm in my mid-40s and nowhere near as flexible as I once was. I seem to pick up niggling muscle pains too, in particular my forearm. Do you have any tips for loosening? Okay, so Sovereign Saint, one thing I'd say is if you're getting your forearms, you need to check that grip. Because I often find if we're getting a lot of forearm pressure, we've got that club then potentially a little bit too much in the palm. Now, if it's too much in the palm, we're going to be strangling it to death, giving us tension in here. So I'd check that. I would also, I'm probably not the best person to say for loosening off. Like, I'm a golf pro, not a physio, but how I do it is I would really just stretch before I go and play. So I would do some rotational stretches, hamstring stretches, hip flexor stretches, and even you got to be stretching these forearms. I think there's a lot of pressure through shoulders, elbows, forearms in the golf swing in general because there's a lot of load there. So I'd really be checking that. Okay, let's have a look at these questions here. We've got time for just 2 more questions, guys. It's been cracking to have so many of you on tonight. Thank you so much for coming live. As I say, we usually go live twice a month, but this month we're only going live once. And I've got a baby due in April, so we'll probably be going only live once a month, which I'm very, very excited about. Okay, so let's go down here to another question. Says here we go, from Jacob Mason. How do you tilt in the backswing with the club in hand? So, Jacob, let's just break this down. So, in the backswing, there's an element of, for a right-handed golfer, left bend and rotation. Now, you don't start your swing with this. You start to rotate and then add in the left bend. Now, I would do it like this. I would hook in my right with my left. I would start to practice this action. So as we're rotating, we're left bending and we're getting the right arm in the right position. So if I showed you that from down the line, I won't hit the microphone, I promise. Like this. This is just a great way to get that feeling. And honestly, I think it's a cracking way to hone in your skills of your golf swing. Let's go to one more question. A.O. Gord said, have you ever played golf in Tenerife? Some good courses here. Enjoy your coaching tips. I have once, but that's ages ago. It was, I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. I was quite young, so that's not much help. Let's go for another one of these questions in here. Oten said, Alex, come to a clinic here in Orlando, Florida. Love the channel. I would love to come and do a clinic over there in Orlando. Let me know if, well, actually, guys, something I've been thinking about for a while. I think it's just it's a long way for me to go. I just don't know how many people would be interested, if a lot of people would be interested. So maybe that's something, if we get enough people interested, it would be something I would love to come and do. One, just to meet you all, but two, to help you directly in person, which hopefully the tips are on the channel here, helping you as best I can without actually being there in person. Okay, Robert Amati, and this is a great question. We're going to finish this question, guys, but as I always say, hello, Alex. Remember me, lol, Douglas Clark. Douglas, I do. Don't forget, if you answer questions in here, don't forget, I will not forget your question on the live stream. I go back and these will become part of the full videos, which we will be implementing over the next week or so. So if you hit subscribe and hit the bell, you get notified, and hopefully yours will become up. Well, hopefully it will be, but unless you subscribe or you hit the bell, you won't know. Okay, so Robert Matthews said, does the start of the backswing to the parallel position consist of shoulders only, no arm movement? So, Robert, this is a really great question. So, shoulders turn and tilt, okay? So that's this. But arms, if they didn't lift, your arms would work too deep. So your right arm, let's just break this, it will bend a little bit, your wrist will work this way, and it will lift slightly. So it'll do this. Because if you think about it here, if it stayed here, where would it stay? It has a little bit of lift, and it wants to be around 90. So your shoulders tilt, arm goes. Shoulders tilt, arm folds, and bends. And this is the action we're looking for. So the arm does lift slightly and bend slightly as our wrist does this. So on the downswing, we release that pressure back down to the golf ball. So, guys, I mentioned we're actually running over here because I'm having a cracking time with you all. Don't forget, my tour truck video with the giveaway is just about to go live on How Good Golf. Be sure to check that out. And don't worry, if I've not answered your question here, I can see so many in here, even from Wayne, just about your earlier hitting and bad shots, keeping, been reading golfers' mind and been helping me. Wayne Burton, that is what I'm saying. So Wayne's been looking at mind and everything along the lines of golf psychology, and he's seeing some much better effects. So the 5-yard bubble, think about that one. If you've not heard me say that, it's probably about 10 minutes ago, about how you walk up to the golf ball, 5 yards in there, if you get a bad shot, once you walk past 5 yards, click those fingers, you're out of it. But guys, that is all we have time for this evening. I want to just say thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you so much for all the support. We'll be live in a couple of weeks' time, but do bear in mind, I've got a little one on the way. So I will hopefully be going live at least once, but hopefully twice. And I look forward to seeing you all on there. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support. It is absolutely cracking. Hopefully together this year, we can have a cracking season and we can get some PBs. Because I want to start doing and hearing about these PBs in the comments. If ever you think, right, Alex, even drop me an email. If you think, Alex, oh yeah, that really helped. Like, I love these stories where you message me going, Alex, this helped because of this. I now did this. That's what I want to hear. Genuinely, that's what I want to hear. That's why we create the channel. So you got free, simple golf tips that are not jargon. We just go simple for you. Dead simple. Jules, just say put thanks and congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. Very excited. We don't know what we're having, so it's going to be a very, very exciting year. And hopefully you can have an exciting year on the golf course too. I'm going to say thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you not only this evening on the normal tips video, but on the live stream very, very soon. Thank you.